Hello, my friends. Good morning. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, here to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. And of course, you know I will tell you who's coming up on this week's show as this live stream, this program, this, I don't know, podcast. Everybody's talking about podcast, video. Everything that is out there these days is thought of or called a podcast. I don't care if it's video or audio or where you see it, where you hear it. Cliff, good morning. How are you? I appreciate you being along with us. Craig Plowman, how are you, my friend? I'm going fishing Monday morning. I actually booked a trip with Captain Mark Pananzak. It's like, I got to go fishing. And it's always good to fish with somebody else, to learn from somebody else. So I said, Mark, can you do a half-day combo trip, a Saginaw Bay and Saginaw River trip? And he said, yeah, of course. Bruce, good morning. How are you? Mike, always a pleasure. Uncle Johnny, we will see you tomorrow. Tim, good morning. How are you? Yeah, I can't wait. I said, man, if we can do Skinny Water and the river. Hey, Jason, how are you? I was just saying that I booked a trip Monday with Captain Mark Pananzak. I want to do a combo trip, a Skinny Water trip and the river. I'm looking forward to that. If somebody's looking for a bay trip, you cannot beat Jason Graham and Send It Charters, senditcharters.com. And they're having an event at Linwood Beach Marina next Saturday, the 2nd. Check that out. Then get your tickets to our Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner for that night. It'll be a good day if you do that. Mad Jack, how have you been, buddy? Haven't heard from you in a while. David, Johnny Bowler, the man who is now officially 1 year and 1 week older. How you doing, buddy? Rocky, I love that name. You know that, man. That is the coolest name. Checking in from Downriver. Appreciate you joining me on this edition of Behind the Mic. Coming up tonight at 7 o'clock on Wednesday Night Live, Amy Trotter, Executive Director of MUCC, will be joining me. A lot to talk about tonight. Including the Deer Management Initiative. I didn't get a seat on that committee. Didn't figure I would. 2,500 people applied. They chose 20, I think. I'm still looking for a list of names. I don't even know if they're going to announce it. They should. And also their convention is coming up. I want to talk about that as well. Hey, Brian, good morning. How are you, buddy? Jason checking in from the Ford Dearborn Truck Plant. Wouldn't be a Wednesday morning without you, Jason. So, yeah, I want to talk to Amy about that, the Deer Management Initiative. I want to talk with her about the upcoming convention and so much more. This will be your chance to join us tonight at 7 o'clock on Wednesday Night Live, and you can get involved in the conversation. Kevin, superintendent at the West Branch Country Club, where we will be having the first annual Avery Outdoors golf outing coming up Monday, July 29th. Now, it's way too early for details on that, but if you're interested in being involved in that as a whole sponsor, a sponsor of the event, get in touch with me. Send me an email to Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com, Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com, and I will put you in touch with the right people. Kevin, appreciate your help on this so very much. Are we still accepting donations for the banquet? My live auction is set. I would ask you, Craig, to get in touch with Deidre, or I can put you in touch with Deidre. I don't know the answer to that. Good morning, Jim. Always a pleasure. Johnny, no snow, but really busy. Got to run. See you. All right, Johnny. Have a good day, buddy. Good morning, Ron. How are you? Speaking of that dinner, that Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction is Saturday, March 2nd. That's a week from this Saturday. We still got some tickets. one.bidpal.net. And I hope you can join us. All right. Thank you, Craig. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Craig. Younger man Zach, how are you? Mike A3. Mike Gorson says, where's the ice? Yeah. How's the crack? Hey, Mike? How's the crack? I don't know. I'm not an ice fisherman, so I'm glad to see it go, although I know a lot of people depend on that ice, so I get it. But I'm going fishing Monday. My angler quest is still in shrink wrapped over at Linwood Beach Marina. It's too early to get that thing out. But I'm going fishing with Captain Mark Pananzak. Another Jason checking in from the Ira Township Fire Department. How are you? Josh Mapes, good morning, buddy. I got to post your picture today. Jason said, I didn't get selected for the Deer Management Initiative, although I didn't think I would. I didn't think I would either, Jason. I really didn't. And actually, I thought I'm not a good choice for it. So I wasn't disappointed that I didn't get selected. But I do want to know who's on it. I know 2 people who are on it because they've announced it. Jordan Hoover of the UP, who I had on the show here a few weeks ago, is on. And then the biologist, the wildlife biologist for Canada Creek Ranch, she posted last week that she was selected as well. I don't remember her name. Kevin said there is still fishable ice in West Branch. So if you want to go ice fishing, go to West Branch. If you want to play golf this summer, go to West Branch. West Branch Country Club. Especially Monday, July 29th. Yeah, Josh Mapes, that rifle you were using there the other day was a very evil-looking rifle. Very evil. There's Jordan right there. Jordan, I was just saying that you got selected to the Michigan Deer Management Initiative. Congrats on that. Jordan, I'm looking for a list. I've actually reached out to Chad Stewart this morning and waiting to see text from my daughter. Okay. I'd like to see that list. I think there should be a list. I think it should be public knowledge. Jordan, I know that you have publicly posted. I feel good that you're part of that event, part of that group. And also, Jordan, do you know the biologist's name at Canada Creek Ranch? I know she's involved as well. I was going to say Chad Stewart's on the show. Bill Lincoln, the guy who suggested that we have the Avery Outdoors golf outing. So, Bill, this is all going to be on you. If it's a flop, it's your fault. If it's a success, it's my fault. How's that work for you, Bill? That's the American way. Art, do you approve of my rundown?
Yeah, it looks good.
Come in here, Art. You got to say good morning. It wouldn't be a Wednesday morning without Art Lewis in here.
Good morning.
He approves of the rundown for this week's show. So I have the Art Lewis seal of approval.
Great.
And Art will be with us Saturday, March 2nd at the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction as well.
I will.
All right. We'll look forward to seeing you there, Art. Always a pleasure. Bill says, yeah, it's perfect if we do it that. Okay. Jordan says the list is forthcoming soon, I believe. Tim, good morning. How are you? Tim Bin says, where do we go? Diverse group with differing ideas. I hope so too, Tim. Art, John Crave says, good morning, Art.
Morning, John.
That's Uncle Johnny, and he will also be at the event, so you guys can shoot the breeze there.
All right.
Mad Jack says, good morning, Art.
Morning. Do I hang around now?
Will you let Art go to work, okay? Get out of here, Art. What else here? I went up to Jay's speaking of evil-looking guns, Josh, I noticed your gun had an evil-looking addition to the end of it. Jordan. Are we going to go back to this? George says, Mike, what day is it? Mike, what day is it? Hump day. Doors open to the studio. I don't want to be obnoxious, or more obnoxious than I usually am. Good morning, Patrick. Okay, I went to Jay's not to pick up a suppressor because I knew I couldn't pick it up. Gina Cannell of Jay's Sporting Goods, the manager of the gun department of their Clare store, called me last fall, in fact, November 14th, and she said, we have a suppressor here for you. I'm like, okay. Yeah, Brenton set up a 450 multi-cal suppressor with your name on it. I said, well, can I get it by tomorrow to go deer hunting tomorrow? She just laughed at me. So I went up there last Thursday in the snowstorm, which was an interesting day. If you were driving last Thursday, wasn't it? It's like, where did that come from? And you couldn't tell the sky from the ground. Anyway, I drove up to Clare, had the store to myself that morning. I went over to their kiosk. Russ from the gun department there walked me through it. So I did that whole preparation. I did the application. I paid my $220, $205, whatever it is, tax stamp. Because, of course, in this country, you can't have a suppressor unless you pay the government for it, right? Let's not even go down that rabbit hole. And our new state laws here. Oh, here's an update for you. Here's an observation. Last week, Glenn Duncan of Duncan's Outdoor Shop was on the show with me trying to unwrap these new Michigan gun laws. He said there is some good news, Mike, though, that the governorette or governor-ess, in her wisdom, in her knowledge, in her benevolence, because she is a benevolent governor. I better watch. I'm going to get pulled over by a trooper on the way home. Nah, they wouldn't do that to me unless I was doing something bad. Anyway, she said, as part of the new gun laws, we're going to throw you guys a bone, and we're going to make all gun storage devices sales tax exempt effective February 13th. Well, if you're buying a $1,000 gun safe, that's a pretty big deal. So some stores, including Jay's, had this marketing campaign come in now and save some money on a safe because you don't have to pay the sales tax. The governor-ess, benevolent dictator, whatever her name is, said, oh, no. That was a mistake. It's not going to go into effect now until May. So just keep that in mind. If you were planning on buying a gun safe and saving the money on the sales tax, wait until May. Randy, good morning. Hey, Jim, how are you, Cap? Nice to have you along with us. I'm going fishing next week, Jim. I couldn't take it any longer. I actually booked a half-day trip with Captain Mark Penonzak. I said I want to do a combo trip. I want to fish the Skinny Water and the river. And he said, let's go. Matt Shaw, good morning. How are you, buddy? Matt donated a predator hunt to our Trinity Monitor dinner. Appreciate that very much. Hey, Jerry, how are you? Always a pleasure. Hope all is well with you as well. Okay, so tonight. Okay, I just got a text from Chad Stewart. 22 individuals for the UP group and 24 for the lower. Oh, okay, listen to this. Good morning, Mike. This is from Chad Stewart. We have selected 22 individuals for the UP group and 24 for the lower. I didn't know it was two different groups. Roughly half of those individuals were invitees from specific groups we traditionally work with, like MUCC, NDA, UPSA, among others. Okay, so I'll go back to my original premise that roughly 20 people from the public were invited to that group. I'll get more on that as we get closer. Going back to tonight, 7 o'clock, Wednesday Night Live. Executive Director Amy Trotter will be along with me. Next week, Wednesday night, a week from tonight, the grand poobah of our Wild Game Dinner, Deidre Hurley, will be with me to kick off and announce that our online auction is going live. 1.bidpal.net, 1.bidpal.net. Hey, Steve, good morning. Steve, will you be joining us for the Wild Game Dinner and Auction? Steve, thank you for everything you do at Trinity. I cannot believe you went up there and hung the ropes on those bells. You're a crazy man. And Steve, you might be jealous, but I'm going fishing Monday. No, you wouldn't be jealous. You're fishing all the time. Jim says he's getting fired up too. A follow-up text from Chad Stewart. We do have a list of names. We have not published it, but it is available through a Freedom of Information Act request. Oh, that's probably not a good PR move. And I like Chad. I do. George, good morning. How are you? Tim, nice to have you along with us. Ed Bolanowski, buddy, always a pleasure. Dan Johnson, Danny Johnson, Easter ham. Ooh. We should be doing Easter ham, shouldn't we, Ed? We're supposed to do Easter hams for Lent. Thank you for the reminder. Let me get in touch with Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand for Easter hams. Thank you. Forgot all about that. I didn't forget about Lent. I didn't forget about Easter, but I forgot about the ham giveaway. Let me check with Nick and see what he wants to do. I know that Michigan Brand is giving away Michigan Brand products for a year as one of the live auction items at our Trinity Monitor event. Good morning, Gene. How are you? Can we make reservations in West Branch yet? No. No. I talked to Emil about that. He's got a date in mind. I don't know when it is yet, Tim. Brian, good morning. George says, yeah, bring in the same bunch that's failed us for 30 years and continue their foolishness. Hey, Tommy, how are you? Sure will. I don't get the new boat till mid-April. Hold on a second. Did I know you were getting a new boat? I thought the boat you had was a fishing machine, Steve. You holding out on me here, or am I just not paying attention? Greg, sitting here recovering from a hip replacement. Maybe I can sit in the boat again. Hey, hip replacements, hip replacements, knee replacements these days are a piece of cake. The therapy hurts like hell. If you do it right, it hurts because you got to make yourself hurt. But you'll be back up and around in no time. Gene says, doing good, just building pontoons. He's at Apex Marine. Apex, the former home of Angler Quest Boats, QWEST. Now we're going to see Mr. Angler Quest himself, Brad Dupuis, making boats Angler Quest QUEST. Good morning, Hunter Joe. How are you? Greg says, I got that down. Good for you, Greg. Recover soon, buddy. You're going to, well, if I don't know if, listen, I'm sounding like an old man here, but if you had joint replacement, it feels so much better afterwards. You feel like a new man. Okay. Let me talk about our Trinity Monitor dinner again. 2 months in knee replacement, golfing today. Excellent, Brian. Where are you golfing today, Brian? Where are you? 1.bidpal.net, 1.bidpal.net. I will. Tom, is that true? Oh, to the NRC. To the NRC. Do you have that bag with you, Charlie?
Yes, I do.
Can I show it off, please?
Sure can.
Who is calling me? Oh, it's spam.
Oh, I got some printed for you too.
Oh, thank you, Charlie. Okay. What do we have in the studio this morning? We always have a treat. This is Michigan brand smoked beef, cherry maple. John, is it good?
It's good.
John says, it's really good. Charlie, is it good? Charlie says, it's really good. Thank you, Nick Grillo, for that. Okay, Tom, any thoughts on our benevolent leader? Now, what are we calling her? She's our governor-ette. No, she's our governor-ess. No, she's our benevolent dictator. Oh, you say leader, Tom, leader. Okay. Any thoughts on our benevolent leader appointing a member of the Sioux tribe to the NRC? I'll be honest with you, Tom. I didn't. Is this new or has this been around for a while? I didn't know anything about it, and I realize I don't stay. Thank you, Charlie. As in touch with some things as I should, but that I should have known. A member of the Sioux tribe to the NRC, so of course we can make sure that we are doing things so we don't offend the tribes, although the tribes have treaties that protect them and federal courts that protect them, so now we need the NRC to protect them too. Oh, okay. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that a lot. Riverview Highlands. Rick, enjoy your wild game dinner. Ours is the same weekend. Well, yeah, enjoy yours as well. Good morning, Brian. And she said it's the governor calling. Yes, that was the governor calling, said, Avery. Enough. Greasy Gretchen, January. It happened in January. Gosh, honest to goodness. I didn't even know that, Tom. All right. That will be one of my questions tonight for Amy Trotter of MUCC. Does MUCC have a position on the governor-ess, the benevolent dictator, appointing a member of the Sioux tribe to the NRC? Thank you, Tom. Aditya. How you doing, Aditya? My son-in-law. Couldn't ask for a better son-in-law. Hunter Joe said appointed a couple of weeks ago. She was appointed. Okay. Well, then I shouldn't have any criticism because it's a woman. So of course I can't criticize that because she's a woman. Hey, Aditya, I just heard that Shelb's under the weather. I know you're taking good care of her, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Jordan says you should attend the next NRC meeting. I should. I can't argue with that, Jordan. I should. Randy Murray, how you doing, buddy? Randy, you're going to be so jealous. I'm going fishing Monday. And you know where I'm going, Randy? I booked a trip with Mark Pananzek of Real Fishing, a half-day trip. I said, Mark, I want to do a combo trip. I want to do a skinny water and river trip. He said, yeah, we can do that. So I'm going to go fish the Skinny Water Monday and go up in the river and jig for some walleye. And I'm feeling pretty darn good about it. Thank you very much. Oh, I haven't told you who's on the show this week. Tom Jenkins talks about the celebration of Fred Bear's birthday. It's Fred Bear Day in Grayling next weekend. Gina Cannell of Jay's Sporting Goods on the process of getting a suppressor. Nick Bougie of the Michigan Wildlife Council wraps up the hour. In our third hour, Kevin Jacobs, who is in charge of the aviation department for the DNR, he talks about their aerial surveys, including how they do it for eagles. Randy Claremont of the DNR on should you keep big spawn-filled fish this time of year? John, I'm trying to work here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. And then Richard P. Smith on the Deer Management Initiative and Dixie Dave. Okay, Larry Elliott. Larry, are you the same Larry from the Flint Steelheaders? I'm sure you are. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. All right. I got to switch gears, but you know this. I can't talk into this Mr. Microphone. I have to talk into this Mr. Microphone because I have to do the radio show. You're welcome to stick around and watch me record it, or you can listen this weekend. Yeah, you are, Larry. Well, thank you for all the good work you've done down there. And I was talking to Bruce DeShano about you. Got to go. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan. And so glad to have you along with us as we kick off another 3-hour celebration of the history and tradition of the outdoor lifestyle right here in the great state of Michigan. Hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping and wildlife issues and conservation issues. And you know we wrap up each week's show with some wild game cooking as well. Our outdoor heritage is something to be celebrated. It's something to be passed on from generation to generation. And I think a lot of Michigan families feel that very intensely, and it's a very personal feeling for a lot of us. So I am so glad that you're here to help us do this celebration, to celebrate this outdoor lifestyle. Can we celebrate Mother Nature, or do we just curse Mother Nature? It's been an interesting winter, hasn't it? Man, just when I thought it was over, boom. Well, I knew it wasn't over, right? It was only February, but real batch of cold weather, some snow. I shoveled again. I thought, I'm not going to shovel again the rest of the year. Well, I did shovel. But now, things are looking better. We got some warm weather coming. I'm going fishing open water. I'm real excited about it. So all is good. Yeah, I've been jonesing so bad to get out in the open water. Of course, my angler quest is under shrink wrap at Linwood Beach Marina. It's way too early to get that boat out. But I'm thinking, I really, really want to go fishing. I have a lot of friends with boats. I have a lot of people who have given me invitations. Avery, come and jump on with us anytime you want. But I actually booked a half-day trip with Captain Mark Pananzak of Real Fishing. Mark donated a Detroit River walleye fishing trip to our Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. And I thought, you know what, it'd be nice just to book a trip with Mark. It's always nice to go out with somebody else and see how they fish. So I said, Mark, I want to go fishing, but can we do a combo trip? Can we do a skinny water trip and then trolling and then jump up into the river and jig for walleye? And he said, absolutely. So I am very, very excited about that. I'll be talking about it on next week's show, so we'll see how that went. It's going to be fun. I made a trip to Jay's Sporting Goods this past week to lay hands on my Brenton suppressor. I wasn't able to come home with that suppressor. Now, if you're saying, what's a suppressor? You might know it as a silencer. They really don't silence the sound that a gun makes, but they do knock the sound pressure level down significantly, the dBs down significantly. Now, I've already done damage to my hearing from shooting without having hearing protection on. And, you know, I'm paying the price for it these days with these little things that are in my ears to help me hear. But there's no reason I want to do more damage. And if I want to shoot that Brenton from inside of a blind, you know, I'd like to help myself out here a little bit. So there is a Brenton, a 450 multi-cal suppressor at Jay's with my name on it. The 450 multi-cal means it can be used for everything from a 450 on down. So I asked Russ there at the counter at Jay's, I said, could I use that for my 223? And he said, yeah, you could. He said it won't be as effective because you'll get a lot of gas coming around the bullet because the bullet's smaller than the suppressor is designed for. So anyway, I went to Jay's. Russ there took me over to the kiosk, the silencer shop kiosk, and he walked me through the whole process. I had to get re-fingerprinted, even though I've already been fingerprinted because I have CPL. Re-fingerprinted, had to pay the tax stamp fee. It was roughly $200 because, of course, in this country, we can't have a legal piece of gun equipment without paying the government for it and then registering it and then, you know, letting them know we have it, right? So I did that. It'll be roughly 4, maybe 5 months now, if I'm lucky, to bring that thing home, to get it out of jail, as they say. And I'm really looking forward to that. I've seen suppressors on long guns before. My good friend Paul Phillips, the extreme long-range shooter, has suppressors on all of his guns. So I've seen them in person, and they're very impressive. So I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that. Also looking forward to the upcoming turkey season. It's not too early to start getting excited about that, in my opinion. I'm already finding myself as I travel the back roads looking for strutters in the field, you know, looking for birds. They're not necessarily going to be, you know, in April where they are right now, but at least I know there are birds in the area. I got an email from the DNR this past week. They said, well, thank you, Mr. Avery, for applying for the Deer Management Initiative, but you were not selected. I didn't think I would be, so I wasn't disappointed. The Deer Management Initiative is an advisory group being formed to help, in theory, shape the future direction of deer management in Michigan. There were 2,500 people who applied. Of those 2,500, there were roughly 20 chosen from the general public, the general population of deer hunters. There are 22 members of the Deer Management Initiative, the UP side of that group, and there are 24 from the lower. Now, I'm being told, let me pull up a text I just got here. Half of those individuals were invitees from specific groups we traditionally work with, like MUCC, NDA, which is what I don't know what that is, and the UPSA, among others. I haven't seen a list of those names yet. I know a couple of people who are on it. One is Jordan Hoover from the UP, who we had on the show here a couple of weeks ago. The other one is a biologist for Canada Creek Ranch. And the reason I know they're on there is they both publicly announced that they're part of that group. So I'm very curious to see what will happen with that and what direction will come out of it. What else? Oh, this is the last time we will talk here on the radio show before our big Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. That's Saturday, March 2nd, and surprisingly, we still have just a very few number of tickets left. If you'd like to join us and get in on the fun, get in on the action, go to one.bidpal.net. That's O-N-E, one.bidpal.net/Trinity. Or as you're looking at the Facebook page this weekend as the show airs, I will have a QR code that you can just scan and take you right there. Saturday, March 2nd at the Great Hall in Midland, and boy, is it going to be fun. I think this is our 7th annual dinner that we've done. live auction items, including a bunch of great hunts, predator hunts, turkey hunts, deer hunts, an African safari, some fishing trips, a Lake Michigan salmon fishing trip with Captain Paul Schlafly, Detroit River walleye trip with Captain Mark Pananzak, Saginaw Bay trips with Captain Doug Ward. I'm also going to give away a Saginaw Bay trip. Michigan brand products for a year. Those hunts, by the way, Matt Schock gave away the Predator hunt. Gary Morgan of Wild Game Dynasty is the one who is donating a 3-day guided Michigan turkey hunt. We've got bow hunt in Illinois and an African safari, believe it or not. So a lot of good things to get involved in on that. Wednesday Night Live. I do a Wednesday Night Live every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Last week, we had Amy Trotter of MUCC on the show to talk about a lot of interesting things going on across the state right now. This week, as you are listening, coming up Wednesday night, Deidre Hurley, who is the director of our Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner, will be on with me as we officially kick off the online auction part of our big event. Really looking forward to that. I hope you can join us. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, after the break, Tom Jenkins will talk about the celebration of Fred Bear's birthday in Grayling next weekend, Fred Bear Day. Then Gina Cannell of Jay's Sporting Goods with more on what you need to do to get a suppressor. Then Nick Bougie of the Michigan Wildlife Council checks in on their Here for Generations campaign. In our second hour, the guy in charge of aviation for the Michigan DNR, he's the guy that, all these aerial surveys and stuff they do. I want to talk with him about that, about their aerial surveys for Eagle. Also, about an orphaned bear program they have that is absolutely fascinating. Randy Claremont, fisheries director of the DNR, then joins me to answer the question, should you keep big spawn-filled female walleye from big water fisheries this time of year, or are you hurting that resource? In our third hour, Richard P. Smith says he can solve Michigan's deer hunting problem with 3 simple steps, and he wants to follow up on that Michigan Deer Management Initiative. And, of course, we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. My name is Mike Avery. This show is called Outdoor Magazine. My website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. That's MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My email address is Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I would love to hear from you. Send me an email. Let me know what you think. And I hope you can stick around after the break right here on Outdoor Magazine. All right, my friends, have a good day. Let me see some of your other comments here. Had last cardiac rehab this morning. Well, I hope you're doing well, Justin. Jerry, good morning. Ross Elliott down 43 pounds. Mr. Skinny. Proud of you, Ross. Dan, if you wanted to be a part of this new group, a prerequisite was to be on social media praising the DNR and defending wolves. I don't know. I don't know about that. Chris checking in from Grand Rapids. All right, Cliff, have a good day. All right, my friends, have a great day. And hopefully you can join me tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live as we are joined by MUCC Executive Director Amy Trotter. In the meantime, have a great day.